continue until like a minus 60K now. And then I'm like, no, listen, structure-wise, I'm still good. I'm convincing myself to afford. So I pump in another like 40K into my account, just to stand that drawdown. And GJ never came back. It never came back.
Then the second part is where we tackle Forex related questions so that people can get information on how to find their way through the market, So I'm just going to come through with those questions right now. Which industries do you trade? Do you trade currencies, indices, synthetic indices?
I used to trade synthetic for a while. I hardly do that now. Right. I trade US 30. I trade NASDAQ currencies. I trade currencies a lot. For the past month or so, but I've been focusing on indices. But I trade currencies, indices, gold, anything that I see good structure with or a potential trade. I trade. Of course, I do have my favorite pairs. In indices, it's US 30. Currencies, I like my GBP pairs. They pay pretty well. They move well they move nice as well. I trade gold now and then. I just sent out a gold signal just before this. So that's what I trade.
You usually send me setups on my page, and when I see your setups, the accuracy is usually really good, and
Thanks.
So, like, what trading style do you have? Are you an intraday trader? Do you swing?
So, my main account, like on FTMO, I'm an intraday trader, right? So I set a trade, I know what I'm about to do the stuff. But I also have like my, like my not my play around accounts. I'll say like my small accounts that I found on a daily basis and like challenge myself. Like with US 30, and that's the one that I post on thing. With that day, I just scalp. So, but me as a trader, I'm an intraday trader.
All right.
I can scalp, but my style is intraday trading.
All right, that's interesting. And I heard you mentioned a lot of volatile pairs, man. How's the risk management with that? Because some people just can't deal with your US 30s and your NASDAQs. It's just too much for them. So how do you deal with risk management?
So I think the problem is a lot of people want to trade NASDAQ and US 30 and stuff, thinking that's the only way you can make money.
True.
So you start off with a small account with 500 Rand, and if the trade goes against you, you don't have money again until maybe next month, for example, to fund an account again, if that goes against you. And I made more money trading currency pairs than I have with indices. You just have to manage your risk. You can't take a trade. You can't put all your eggs in one basket, right? So meaning you can't take a trade on US 30, and if that goes against you, you don't have an account to trade with it again. So start off with currency pairs. There's pairs that are less volatile. If you can't handle that volatility, trade those pairs. And then from there, slowly build up. And then you start trading like your GBP pairs, which move much faster. You can then move to gold. And slowly build yourself up build your account up until you can handle taking a trade on US 30 and NASDAQ and so forth.
All right. I totally agree with you. So which strategies do you use to base your entries? Because I heard you mentioning that you have 5 confluences. So you can mention a few of them that you use to base entries.
So there's no specific time frame that I use for my entry, right? Because there's different ways I enter. I look at structure holistically on my higher time frame. I trade with the trend most of the time. Very rarely will I take a counter trend trade. I look for candlestick and I look for candlesticks. Of course, your psychological levels, your support and your resistance, your break of your counter trend lines, structure on your lower time frame. So I mix it up just depending on what the market gives me. But I know that, listen, at least I need to see 5 confluences before I take a trade.
Yeah, it makes sense because some people, just enter mindlessly and they end up blowing accounts. Yeah. And what does your trading plan look like?
So my plan is like in the past, we're always looking to make that huge amount of money that's going to change our life. And I think I was taking a lot of losses that way, because I was over leveraging. I was risking too much per trade, until I realized that, listen, if you have a skill that you can consistently make money off, there's no reason to rush. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to win the lotto if this trade goes right, because tomorrow there's going to be another opportunity. You know what I mean? So I just know what I need to make every month to live a decent life. And within those times, those big trades are going to come, right? But it's not like I'm hoping that it's today. No, take a trade, know what I'm risking, know how much I'm going to make. If the market decides to push, TP1, TP2, you see more opportunities, take it like that. But you can't just take a trade that you can't take every trade hoping that this trade is going to change my life.
Yeah, true.
And then it goes against you and then you sad. You know what I mean? So it's just about being consistent. Small, consistent profit adds up.
That's really good advice, by the way. I just want to find out, what are the 3 things traders must spend their time mastering for them to start seeing profit and consistency in the market?
I think the first thing that you need to do is you need to work on the craft, sit on trading view, fall in love with the charts. You need to genuinely fall in love with the chart. Of course, yes, you get drawn into Forex because of the money, which everyone does, right? That's what you get drawn to Forex for. But it's only once you start really starting to love the charts. And I'm saying that like it's where you're not even trading. You don't even have money to trade. You don't even have money to fund your account. But you're on the charts. You're looking for opportunities. You're becoming comfortable with it, right? So you have to love your chart, right? Number 2, you have to be disciplined. As I mentioned, your risk and reward. Stick to your plan, right? And set a plan, write it down, and always refer to that plan. Because you can have a plan, but as soon as you take a trade and there's a trade running, you tend to just throw that plan out the window, right? And then you take a loss, and then you'll be like, oh shit! But I knew what I needed to do. Why didn't I do it? So try to write down your plan, your rules, and stick to the rules. And the third thing, just be consistent. Whatever you do, just try to be consistent every day. Just push.
Yeah, consistency really is key when it comes to the market, because it just takes a few months of consistency for you to have that breakthrough in your trading. Yeah, so in your trading, when was that breakthrough moment for you where you're like, yo, after this trade, there's no going back after this, like I have this figured out? Is there a moment where you had that?
I had that, but that's when I was not using correct management as well. When I made a ridiculous amount of money, and that's when I was like, no, this is it. This is what I'm going to do, and whatever the case is. But it was a wrong mindset at that time, because that trade could have easily went against me. You know what I mean? So when I saw that, I knew the potential that the market can give me, what the market can give me. I saw the potential of it. So that was the moment for me. But it shouldn't be that this one trade just changed your life or something. Of course, when it happens, it's going to happen. But you can't wake up every morning looking for that one trade, and then it goes against losing a ridiculous amount of money. It's just not worth it in the long run.
So the last question I want to ask you before going into the questions from Instagram is, for you, we all know that Forex is all about the freedom, so how does your trading day look like? What's a typical day in a life for you?
Wake up around about 8 o'clock, set up, I'll open my PCs, look out for an opportunity for London, right? I enjoy trading London session.
Okay.
First signal I get, the first opportunity I see for the day, I send it to both my groups, my FTMO group and my VIP single group. So that'll be around 9 o'clock, because I like to take my trades before the open of the session. So I take my trade around 9 o'clock, and about 10 o'clock, the volatility kicks in. From there, I monitor my trades till about 10, 11, go over just, basic stuff, nothing crazy. Then 12 o'clock, I recently started learning boxing. So at 12 o'clock, I got boxing, come back home, chill, have lunch, see if my mentors and my mentees are good. And then, just continue sending signals, looking at the market, looking for more opportunities. And then, of course, in between that, I'm doing mentorship.
Yeah, just working for yourself on your own terms. That's really nice. So I'm gonna go through the quick questions, and the very first question is, what was your most memorable trade?
My most memorable trade was, I think, the biggest loss that I took with my own money.
Yeah,
It was 140,000, and it happened last year, in fact.
yeah,
So I had a setup on GJ, and it was lining up perfectly with my analysis.
yeah,
Everything was lining perfectly. So I had in my account at that time, it was with one of the local brokers as well. There was
yeah,
about 100, about 100, no, just under 100,000 in that account. And my plan was to risk about 20,000 rand on a specific trade, so I
yeah.
can make about 80, because my risk and reward was like 1:4.
All
So I'm
right.
like, no, listen, I'm gonna go in because everything is lining up perfect. Candlestick confirmation, fib, trend line, structure, everything was perfect. And I remember I took a sell,
Mm.
and market decided to go into profit, and I'm chilled. And then I was initially like 10K up initially,
All
didn't
right.
move my stop loss to enter. I'm confident that, listen, the setup is the one.
Mm.
Then market started to and go against me. So
Mm.
it went back to break even, and I could see that, listen, on the lower time frame, structure's breaking, and market wants to think. But I'm like, nah, man, there's too many confluences in my higher time frame. I'm gonna chill. So as it's approaching now my stop loss, I start moving my stop loss. I'm like, no, man, there's no way it's gonna come back. So I move my stop loss. Now it's minus 20K. Going up minus 40K. Until you just continue until like a minus 60K now. And then I'm like, no, listen, structure-wise, I'm still good. I'm convincing myself it's gonna fall. So I pump in another like 40K into my account, just to stand that drawdown. And
Yeah.
GJ never came back. It never came back.
Damn, bro.
Continue. Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy.
But it was a valuable lesson for me because uh, it shows that no matter how many confluences you have, right, the market does whatever it wants to do, right? There's nothing we can do to control that. We just have to manage our risk, see the probability. If it's high, take the trade and manage your risk and reward. Because the trade after that, I think the risk and reward was like 1:5. But now if I'm risking 5,000 on that trade, I'm only making 30K. Opposed to the previous trade, I lost 140K, So I guess it was a good lesson for me, though. It was a very good lesson.
All right. Then I have a question from someone. They're asking, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Uh, in 5 years, bro, I haven't really thought of that. Hey, of course, I'll
Yeah.
be trading, but I'm hoping at that point I'll be at the level as the international traders, living the lifestyle that they live, be able to afford what they can afford.
Yeah.
I really aspire to live like that. Like the Cubans, Seanley and stuff. They're really, really pushing. And I don't want to limit myself. I want to see myself like, killing it like that in 5 years or so.
All right. Yeah, I think that's a goal for everyone. We just all want that lifestyle, but first we need to put in the hours and the years, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And then someone's asking, does lot size matter that much, especially when you're trading on smaller time frames?
Yeah, lot size definitely matters. Because if your lot size is incorrect, you're going to lose. If you don't know how to manage your lot size, you can lose your whole account, even if the trade is correct, even if your analysis is correct. Because in trading, there is going to be drawdown. So if your lot size is incorrect, you can blow your account before it even hits your stop loss. And then the trade will go your way. So yeah, that's definitely very, very important.
Yeah. For me, that's a wrap. And yeah, man, I hope people who are watching this gained a lot of valuable tips and advice from you. And hopefully, someone can relate to your story because, we were once starting off with our trading journeys and we all know how that is like. Yeah, and I really appreciate you coming on, you know.
Thanks for having me, my G. Thanks for having me. It was good being here.
Yeah, and hopefully the gold trade goes into profit. I trust that it will.
It's a problem. Let me see. How do I say? I don't know how to turn this around. It was so our stop loss is at entry,
Right.
but it was up. So I did tell them put stop loss at entry, but you see structure's breaking here now, so I won't look at entering again. But it was 30 pips or so for a risk of 20 pips. So
It's a pleasure, man. It's great. You're always sending setups, and that's what it's all about, man. Keep pushing what you're pushing, and in 5 years you'll be the Q of South Africa. Or let me say you'll be the Marcellino of South Africa, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so guys, that's the interview with Marcellino. I hope you guys did enjoy the episode, and follow him on Instagram, and just check the guy out. He's really amazing. But other than that, from us, we're signing out. Thank you.